Peace, peace. Happy Saturn Day. Queen Yenn here, and as you see, I am live, in effect, from Oyun Marketplace, 3353 Washington Road, East Point, Georgia. You can come in person and shop every Wednesday, 11 to 4, and Saturdays, 11 to 6. Wanted to hop on and talk about Gemstone Grids with candle. Look, I was hesitant to put ritual because I don't really necessarily like to use that word, just because there's this kind of like, I don't know, perception about when you say we're going to talk about rituals that I perceive to be a little what? Connotation. A what? A connotation. Yeah, it is a connotation. Thank you for the vocabulary. My son, my SAT son is over here giving me vocabulary to use. But anyway, I perceive it to be like it comes off almost like spooky or magic or this kind of thing. That's not what we're doing here, okay? What I talk about and teach about or invite people to try out is ways that we can use energy intentionally to support our prayers, to support our meditation, to support, our lives. Because we are spiritual beings, and that means we are energetic beings. We are beings that's connected to a source of life that flows throughout the world, that flows throughout the earth, that flows throughout us. We can use energy to support our journeys. Okay? And so I tend to not say ritual just because I'm not able to say all of that when I say that. So that's the disclaimer before I even get started with what I'm about to talk about today. Because what I will be talking about today is gemstone grids with candle rituals, basically. And it's a practice that you can use to just support your prayer work. I really do it when I'm praying on something, or maybe after I do some scripting about a specific thing that I'm desiring to call into my life or to realize in my life, or just honestly, I'm desiring to get myself in a position to attract those things. And that's really what we're doing, because that which is yours is already yours. That which you asking, you shall be given, kind of thing. That's just what it is. But a lot of times we are not energetically in a place where we can allow those things to be realized in our lives, or we can attract those things in our lives. And so doing gemstone grids, and then also adding in candle work with it, is very effective. It's very effective. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about today, because we now have what are called household candles in stock. These are called household candles, but they are used for what people call candle magic, the candle rituals, or I call it candle work. And so we have these in stock now. We have them in different colors, and each color represents something different. The white one, and I'm just going to read from the poster. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to read from the poster. I'm going to take you all over here just so you all know when you come and shop in person, you have this resource as well. This poster is on the wall to support you with your candle work. So you have the white. You got the white candle that you use when you're seeking purity, new beginnings, protection, truth, peace, harmony, calming of the mind. We also have pink ones in stock. And as you see, the pink one is when you're calling into your world unconditional love, romance, friendship, self-love, happiness, forgiveness, reconciliation, intimacy. We have the black in stock, which when you're calling into protection and repelling some things, or absorbing or banishing, putting an end to an unhealthy situation. That's your black candle. We have the yellow candle in stock, into intelligence, focus, learning, break mental blocks, wisdom, confidence, clarity, new ideas, and logic. And we also have the red candle in stock. That's for the passion, stamina, confidence, will, power, and to increase creative energy and courage. And so we have had these all in stock. We've always had the candles in stock. One second, y'all. We've always had the candles in stocks, a different color. And these are ones, when you're doing candle work, you can burn for 7 days. And so generally I'll take my candle, say I'm working with the yellow candle. And remember, the yellow candle is when you're wanting to call in focus, Like say you're a writer and you've come up to a writer's block, or your children are about to take tests in school, or you're really seeking intellectual or intuitive wisdom, you know, and knowledge, or you're working with your solar plexus and you're calling into more confidence and clarity in your life so that you can be more confident, new ideas, you know, just opening the intellect and intuition up, then you would use the yellow candle. So I would choose the yellow candle. And what I generally do is I'll take a permanent marker, a Sharpie, and I'll write down my prayer or, you know, some affirmations or my intentions on the yellow candle. And this candle tends to burn for a total of 7 days. And so for those entire 7 days, I would really kind of be just already giving thanks for the breakthrough, you know, continuously saying that prayer, setting that intention for me to be focused, for my mind to be open, for divine intellect to be revealed to me, for or divine intelligence to speak to me, or, you know, the wisdom that I need, whatever it may be, for those 7 days, focusing your energy. Right? And so that's what candle work really is. It's when you're utilizing the vibration of color, the fire element, and your own words, mind, energy to intentionally set forth energy to be able to track something. That's all candle work really is. That's all gemstone work is. That's all spiritual work is. It's when you're connecting with when you are acknowledging, I won't even say connecting with your source of life that we all have with us all the time. It's when you're acknowledging it and you are being intentional about focusing it in a certain area of your life. So I started this video letting you know that we have these, which are different from the ones in the glass, in stock now. And these type of candles are usually used to do what are called candle rituals or candle magic, you know. And so people generally will have a whole setup where they'll do it. Just depend on what you're wanting to pray, what you're praying on, what you're attracting into your life, on the colors you choose. Sometimes you'll use more than one color. Sometimes you'll use more than one candle. You can use a combination of colors. You can use some grids call for 20 candles, you know, 20 of these candles. And once you light it, you will keep it lit until it burn all the way out. And I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that. Hey y'all, peace. I just want to say hey before I keep going. All right, so I'm gonna show a quick little way that you can utilize these candles with gemstones. So I chose a few candles with the idea of attracting love. Okay, so we have a little setup here. Okay, this is disregard my residue from burning another candle. This is a little candle holder. And so this is what you would need, or what you could use, I would say, to do this is a glass plate or something that you can put it on. You don't even really need this, honestly, because if you melt the bottom of this candle a little bit and then stick it on the plate, if it's glass, it'll stick on the plate on its own. Okay, that's first and foremost what you will need to be able to burn the candles. I like this plate because if I was to use, say I'm not using the gemstones, I'm just using candles. And again, I'm calling in love in my life, not just romantic love, y'all. That ain't the only love. Love is like, you know, just being able to be lighthearted and just being able to feel peaceful and free and harmonious with the world, you know, and with people and things, allowing things to be as they are, just kind of, you know, letting it be, not trying to control things. All of that is what divine love really is, you know. Whenever I talk about anything, I'm talking about the divine aspect of it, because, you know, there is an egoic love. That ain't what we calling in. And oftentimes it's that love that has you want to possess people and control people and, you know, create all these expectations and have those people to live up to those expectations. And so again, if you only have a glass plate or some kind of glass surface, some hard surface, you can just melt the bottom of the candle and they'll stand. As you see, I'm trying to stand it here. It's not going to stand up by itself, but you can. Again, I'm showing you little tips so you don't have to go buy fancy little things to put them in, but you can, because that would be my whole flow, is to buy little fancy stuff to put it in. But you could burn, you can burn the bottom and just stick it right on the plate. It'll stand up by itself. And if I'm doing, again, calling in love, I may choose white for purity, just so I can purify my mind of any mindsets or any kind of ideas about love that don't serve me, that's not calling in. Because one thing about it, if you walking around talking about love, I don't want no love in my life and don't nobody know how to love and da-da-da-da-da. Okay, you may have everything to justify why you're saying what you're saying, but if you're holding that vibration, you will never attract the love that you actually want. Maybe you don't want love. I don't know. But talk more about what you want and not what you don't want, or what you like about love than what you don't like about what you perceive to have experience with love. So I would maybe choose white to purify any of that, purify my vibrations. Then the pink, pink is known to be for unconditional love, romance, friendship, self-love, happiness, all that beautiful stuff. So I would pair that with the pink. And then maybe, thank you, pink, for working with me. Then maybe I might pair it with yellow, because yellow has something to do with wisdom, and clarity, so you can be clear. You know what I mean? So maybe I'll pair it with that. So I would, again, if you're just using the plate, put the fire on the bottom a little bit, let it melt. And then once you stick it, the way wax work is it's going to let it stand. So it's working with me today without me having to burn all of them, because I didn't really want to do that. So now, again, I decided what I'm going to be working on. I'm working on calling in divine love into my life, okay? I'm somebody who want to call in divine love in my life. So I choose the white to purify any kind of vibrations, thoughts, past experience, memories, any of those things that's kind of hovering in my auric field and attracting the kind of love that I don't want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want none of that. So I'm purifying all that out. I'm going to let go of all the doubt, the fear, the toxic talk, all that stuff. I'm going to burn that white candle for that. Then the pink candle, I'm burning that so that I can be more receptive to self-love, to unconditional love, to friendship, nice little vibe, romance, all of that stuff. So I burn that. And then I chose my yellow, which is for wisdom and clarity and confidence and all of that. So I'm burning that. I chose the yellow to do that. So those are the candles that I'm going to work with. Boom. So now where do the gemstones come in place? So now you have gemstones that, just like the candles, the energy of the gemstones work in a certain kind of way, okay? So if I'm going to do this one, I'm calling in unconditional love, I'm calling in clarity, I'm calling in confidence and all of this stuff, so that the divine love that comes in my life, I can see it, I can feel it, I can be intuitive, I can know what's love and what's not, all that good stuff. Now I'm going to get selenite, because selenite is real good for clarity and as well. So, and it has a variety of other properties that could be really good as I'm calling into this divine love into my life, all right? And then I'm going to get rose quartz, because everyone know rose quartz is like, it's your loving, it's your motherly, it's your kindness, your compassion. It's the loving stone. So I got my rose quartz. You can choose to put it wherever you want to. Maybe you decide I'm going to put it by the pink candle, or maybe you're just going to do, a grid where you're just going to have it around the plate. So you put the rose quartz on there. Then I chose the orange calcite, which is good for sacral chakra. So I'm just making sure that my sacral chakra is open as I'm inviting this love into my life, so that I can be able to use my gut feelings when it comes to whether this is right for me or not. I can also, allow myself to be sensual and be open sexually and sensually when it comes to this love in my life, if you're calling into romance. And since this is not just sexual, I can also feel that this is love. I can feel the love flowing. So you'll put that on there just so, I'm really trying to keep it where the candles don't fall. Pink calcite, really good for healing the heart chakra, just in case you're holding on to some old, experiences that's really got your heart closed or not open for love. So you can put the pink calcite on there, all right? And then green calcite, another great one for heart chakra. And it's also very good for prosperity, and so it can come in abundance. You could usually, this is called a gardener stone. That's one of the names for this stone. So gardeners like to put this in there so that their plant can be fertile and fruitful. And so maybe you just add this in there so that you can get love in abundance. So you put that on there as well. All right. You situate them however you want to situate them. I'm being a little careful just because I did not burn the bottom of the candle. So, they're not stuck on the plate right now, but you won't have to worry about that once, like I said, you get the bottom of the candle and you just take a lighter and you just light it a little bit so you can melt the wax a little bit, and then you stick it on the plate and it'll stand up perfectly. You can purchase bigger plates so you can do bigger grids. You can purchase stands like this where you can get as many as you want to, so you can be lavish with it. But I suggest that you have, really, if you're gonna do candle work like this, really purchase the tools that you're going to use. If you like to do grids, I do suggest you get a big piece of maybe cardboard or something to do it on, so you won't get it on your floor or carpet or anything like that. Or, if you can find a nice large piece of glass that you can do it on, that'll be nice. They have the larger ones that hold a candle like this, and then sometimes they have smaller ones where it's literally like just the top, like they look like just that, and it sits on the floor or table. So now you're ready. So, this is your whole candle work setup right here. You chose the stones you want, you chose the candles you desire. So now, prior to getting started, you could have scripted down what you're desiring in detail, and maybe that scripting paper goes underneath this plate, or maybe you wrote down a prayer and that prayer goes underneath this plate. I like to do that with my candle work. I'll write a prayer or some kind of writing, some kind of journaling or scripting, and then I'll stick that underneath my plate. And sometimes maybe you have a journal that you're writing in. You can stick the journal under there. Or you don't have to do that. You can kind of set your intentions in your mind. I just like to do that because you write it down. It's just something about writing things down, that just makes it pop to me, So then you just take your lighter and you light your candle. You just light your candle and you let it burn all the way out. You leave it alone. You put it in a safe place. Some people are afraid of doing candle work because, they're afraid that, I don't even want to speak it, but they're just afraid that it could be dangerous. But I would say don't be afraid. Just make sure that you are being safe. Make sure that you create an area in your home where you're doing it. You're keeping in mind that this is the space where you're doing your candle work, so you don't have a lot of flammable things around you. You use things that won't melt, or things like that, and you can just leave it. You don't have to be worried that anything will happen. But if you are doing candle work and you are concerned, you don't feel like it's safe, it's just something to tell you don't leave it lit, don't leave it lit, okay? But what I can tell you is try not to blow it out. There are things called snuffers. I actually have one. I could have showed you all, but I didn't pull it out and I don't want to walk off and get it. But it's called a snuffer, I think. But you can snuff the candle out, when you put it out. I do suggest, when all possible, that you snuff your candles out instead of blow them out. I won't get into the why of it all, but it's just, that's a better practice, especially when you're doing candle work. Or I won't say better practice, that's a good practice. I'll just say it like that, when you're doing candle work. But if you don't feel that convicted about it, hey, blow it out, sis. Blow it out, bruh. It ain't, it's not that big of a deal. So that's that. I hope that was inspiring and maybe helpful to some. But just remember, the more intention you put behind something, the more you're gonna see it work for you. That's just how it works, The more intention. You always laughing at me saying Kofa Dreams. I try to, because people be like, oh girl, oh my God, you blew that candle out, you're gonna die. Like, okay, it's not that serious. My whole thing is take the spook out of spirituality. Ain't nobody got time. Like, don't be all spooky with it, because y'all really be steering people the wrong way. Hey sis. It's like, it's not that serious, but do the research. If it comes to your mind, if you go to blow a candle out and your mind says don't blow that out, that's your divine mind telling you maybe consider doing something differently. And so if you don't know what and why people say snuff out candles instead of blow it out, then do your own research so you can understand why that's said. Understanding it, is the best thing for you. Don't just take it just because somebody said it. Anything about spirituality. I just had a whole conversation with a customer just about an hour ago, just talking about how people just kind of take what people say when it comes to spirituality. Y'all notice I'm air quoting like a mug because sometimes I don't know what people think spirituality is, but they just take what people say about spirituality and run with it just because they said it. And maybe because they got gemstones on their neck, or they got lekes on their neck, or they got hijabs. Whatever reason, they feel like that person knows best. But the person that knows best is you when you listen to your divine mind when it comes to how you practice being a spiritual being, which is what spirituality is. It's you practicing being a spiritual being. And you know what's best for you when it comes to you practicing you, yourself, being a spiritual being. Does that make sense? So I can tell you all I want to, girl, don't blow that, don't do this, don't do what spirit tell you. At some point, spirit told me some candles I snuff out, some I don't. Spirit just leads me, and I just follow spirit, and I don't feel damned if I'm doing stuff and all of that. This is right, this is wrong, you're not doing it right, and all this. You gotta really, get to know for yourself and be able to consult spirit on your own to know how to do these things. So if spirit right now is telling you that, you will be interested in doing some candle work and creating you some gemstone grids with candles, and candle work, then by all means, if you come through on a Saturday, and if I'm floating around, I can support you to picking what you need. But I don't know if you all knew, but I also have a service that is the shopping experience with Queen Yenn. So you can book an actual time to come in by yourself or with a friend, and y'all can come in. And you get a whole hour, and it's the whole vibe. I have the place smudged and it's smelling good and feeling good, and you come in and then you can get some personal advice on what spiritual tools you may could benefit from, and then how to use them. Some people want to really learn how to use the Jericho rolls. Some people really would want to learn how to do the scripting. Some people really want to know how to use the different candles or the different aura, like Florida water, stuff like that. That's what that shopping experience is for. It's for you to learn and shop. Learn and shop. And a lot of times you're not able to do that. You ever went to a crystal shop or a metaphysical shop is what they call it, Botanica, whatever, and you see all of these things and it feels interesting and all of that, but you don't really know. Well, I say that you are making the right decision to not just go on a shopping spree just because something looks interesting or something is cute or whatever. Get to know what those things, are for, and you can really use it for your benefit for sure, and so that shopping experience helps you to do that. So yeah, again, we have these in stock now. We were just selling the 50-hour and the 7-day candles, but now we have the single candles that are used, just in case y'all didn't know what they're used for. They are used to do what I call candle work. That's what I should have put, candle work. It's the candle work, right? Yeah, we were trying to think, what can I say instead of candle ritual? Because Queen Yenn be teaching people how to do candle rituals over there. Oh, Lord. And she done start wrapping her hair up now. We don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying?
It's not the hair wrap.
We don't know what the head wrap, and it be them green bracelets on too. I wonder what that means. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, but I'm serious, but I'm kidding, because it don't really matter like that. It is what it is. I understand the fear. I'm empathetic, so I don't trip. I just try to teach whenever I can, each one teach one. Each one reach one by teaching one. You know what I'm saying? That's my philosophy. So again, if you want to learn how to or do your candle work, then you can come in and grab your candles, grab your gemstones that you may need. And again, if you don't know what you need, you have two options. You can book, I would suggest you book an introductory coaching session. That way you get a whole coaching session where we talk about a variety of things. You can talk about whatever, and then I will suggest some things for you. Or you can actually come in, book a shopping experience, and then you can come in and you can kind of tell me what you feel like you're looking for or whatever, and then I can advise you from that way. So those are two choices that you can use on not only what gemstones and candle you may need to do your candle work, but also anything else in the shop. Another thing I didn't mention in regards to the candle work are the optimal times to do different things. There are optimal times to focus on certain things. Like for instance, right now we're in the first quarter phase of the moon. Or is it that last quarter, sis? Which one is it? The first quarter? First quarter, last quarter. I get them mixed up because they look the exact same. Last quarter, not the first quarter. We're in the last quarter of the moon phase, which means we're heading towards the new moon, right? We just came off of a full. We're heading into a new moon. So the moon looks a little, pretty much like half right now. But during that phase leading up to the new moon, it's a good time for you to be doing releasing work. During the last quarter moon, it's real good for you to be thinking about what are some of the old ways of doing things or thinking about things that I really need to let go in order to usher in newness in my life, you know, because new moon is all about opening yourself up and being a vessel to welcome in new beginnings and new life into your life. And we get that chance all the time, you know, all the time. And especially during the new moon. But you know, we always have chances. Every moment is a chance for something new, but new moon is just optimal. Let me put it like that. Optimal for you to do that, okay? You can always do release work. You can always do attraction work or whatever, prayer work, meditation, whatever. But there are optimal phases of the moon. There are optimal zodiac seasons. There are optimal times because we're blessed like that. You know what I'm saying? We're cosmic beings. We're spiritual beings. So we are connected with cosmic energies that really assist us for real. I'm not just saying it to sound fancy. Like, what would be my reason? So the candle work that's really good during the phase, let's see how you can remember it. After the full moon, when the moon is full in the sky, after the full moon comes the waning moon. So that means the moon is going to start getting smaller in the sky, waning, okay? During the waning period, when the moon is decreasing in the sky, focus on the things you'd like to release or decrease in your life, okay? When I say the things, I mean mindsets, habits, the words you use, the things you're doing, anything you know you need to, and you know better than anybody else, so don't even try. You know, you just be ignoring it. Or you be like, I just can't, or I just don't, let it go. And when you do stuff like these grids with your candle work, you know, it sets the intention so you're not dependent upon your own human will to do that, to release it or to change or whatever. You're assisting with the situating of the energy where it just happens. Like, it's not something you really have to do a lot of times. You know, I think also there's a misconception that you got to do so much to accomplish certain things energetically or spiritually. No, set the intention. First of all, set the intention. If you go further and write it down, are we really getting somewhere? You know, and you ain't even did a lot. All you did was say genuinely with the earnest heart, I desire to release procrastination. I desire to be more productive with my time that I'm blessed with every day. I desire to be that. And you earnestly say that with your heart. Oh, then you go and write it down. Oh, then you do that during the waning moon. Like, all of that intention is helpful. So what happens is, as the energy start to work, you may get some downloads. There may be some things that shake up in your life. Your life begins to unfold in a way where now you become this person that uses your time more productively, and you no longer procrastinate. It ain't a lot of stuff you gotta willfully do. You just gotta really act like you're a spiritual being. As spiritual beings, we have so much grace that we don't take advantage of because we're so convinced that we gotta do everything, we gotta fix everything, we gotta control everything, we gotta do it. This human person, this physical being, where this life, like, we are 80% spirit, 20%, if I was to give it a number, physical. Maybe 90% energetic. It's really 90% and 10% human, physical. It's really more about the energy and the spirit of it all, That's how life just flows. So some optimal times, because I feel like I'm saying a lot. So the optimal times for certain things during I'm gonna test y'all now. Y'all know I'm a teacher. That's my background, is education. But what did I say we should focus on during the waning moon? What is the moon doing when it's waning? What is it doing? Do 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 do. Yes, sis. Release. The waning moon is decreasing, so let that be your hint. This is the time to release, to focus on what I'd like to decrease in my life. Okay, this ain't the time for you to really be trying to manifest nothing, scripting. Okay, that's good, okay, but it's an optimal time for you to be thinking about the things I need to let go of. I need to set the intentions to release in my life. Now, after the waning moon period, now you get the new moon, which is when you don't see the moon. The moon is there, you just don't see it. It's just not, you're not seeing the light from your side of the world. But that period is the new moon period. And that's the optimal time for you to be thinking about new beginnings, birthing new things. It's like darkness. It shows you, it's a representation of birthing. The seed has to go in the ground in order to start to sprout. That is darkness. The baby is in the womb in order to grow and start to bring out new things. Darkness. So new moon is about birthing new things. So once the new moon is over, that phase is over, which is about a 7-day period, give or take. Once it's over, because the new moon phase kind of starts, the energy begins 3 days before the new moon, and it sticks around about 3 days after the new moon. After the new moon, it starts to grow again. And now the moon is increasing in the sky, right? And so what do you think we can now be kind of focusing our energy towards? What we're wanting to see increase in our life, what we're wanting to attract in our life. So new moon time is a good time, great time for you to focus in on your prosperity prayer. So instead of getting these stones that's more so for love and attracting love, I would maybe have all green stones. Don't let me get even more intentional, because then I'll go and get the gold sprinkles over there, the gold valve, and I'll open it and sprinkle some of the gold on there. And then maybe I'll go and get the gold money that's back here. I'll take a piece of gold money, and before I light the candle, I'll put it on the surface, and then the plate will go on top of the gold money. And then maybe I'll script some affirmations or some money mantras or a money prayer. And let me tell you, the best money prayer is a gratitude letter. That's the best money prayer. If nobody ever told you, be grateful and you will see a surplus in your life. And don't be grateful to get the surplus, okay? Be grateful just for the sake of God. Just because we are blessed to be spiritual beings having a human experience, just because we are powerful, energetic, vibrant beings of life, and we have the power to think something and it becomes. We have the power we have the blessing, the mercy to be able to expand every day. Like nothing stays the same. That's just beautiful, That is the best prosperity prayer you can ever write, is a gratitude letter. I give thanks for life. I give thanks for my body. I give thanks for my health and my strength. I give thanks for the reality that our heart pumps without us having to do anything. Our blood flows through us. Our body naturally strives to heal every day, without us telling it to. Our body, as we are, even when we treat our body wrong, our body is still attempting to become whole and show up as a whole being to help us to continue this journey and manifesting all these beautiful visions and dreams we have. I give thanks for my mind that could see and imagine love and life and all these different things. But like that, if you just flow like that, light your green candle, have your prosperity stones around here, put a green candle in the middle, put some gold money underneath, sprinkle some gold on the plate. Put your prayer underneath or your gratitude letter underneath the plate and light that candle and let it light. And while that candle is lit, however long it's lit, whether it's lit for a day or however long it's lit, you just spend that time giving more thanks. And maybe, allowing, sometimes I just feel like giving. The other day, I ordered some Uber Eats. And I just, where the lady usually sits it on the table outside, I put a little shmoney right there. Like, God bless you. Yeah, I feel like in a giving mood right now. Not to get it back, but just I can imagine how that's a blessing for her. Who knows, for her to get that. Because, if I'm giving good. So, give that. Maybe you doing that during why that candle is lit. Let me tell you something. Somebody asked me, does it work? Oh, I shouldn't have said it like that. Dang. It just came out. But somebody asked me, does it work? If you work it, it works. If you believe, that's what it is. The more you put into it, I don't believe anybody is going to really be doing all this stuff if they don't feel like it worked. And I suggest don't even do it. If we're at that level where you're wondering if it works, don't even do it. Don't do it yet. Get your first things first. Get yourself in a different space first before you start using the tools of God. Because I just see it as my humble opinion. I just see it as a little disrespectful for you to be using these gifts and these blessings that God has blessed us with, and you haven't even gotten to the place where your faith is, where your foundation is in faith or is in belief or trust of the reality of God and all of its creation. If you don't have a trust and a belief in the reality of God and all its creation, you don't have the eyes and ears to see how God flows in the examples that's shown to us all the time, then it's not time for you to even try to be using it. It's time for you to really get that understanding first. You got to get founded in that, like really understanding what God is. And what does it really mean for you to be a child of God or a reflection of God or a spiritual being having a human experience or a divine being or energetic being, however you want to call it. I like to call it a reflection of God. I am a reflection of God, just as the rose is or the tree or the ocean or the moon or the sun. All of it are reflections of the reality of God. That's how I actually say the whole thing. I am a reflection of the reality of God. That's what I am. And so I know how God is reflected in these gemstones and how God is reflected in the element of fire and how God is reflected in my thoughts and in my efforts and in my energy and my words. I know. So it doesn't even occur to me to wonder, does it work? I'm not doing it for it to work. I'm doing it because I'm even doing it because I'm grateful that it all comes together as one. All of this comes together as one. So nonetheless, because y'all know I can go on and on this topic forever, and I'm not going to do that because that's not why I'm here. I was here to talk about how do you do candle work, suggest a simple how to do a simple gemstone grid with a candle. I think at this point I've given a few examples and some of the optimal times. Okay, so full moon and the waning moon, you could maybe focus your work around what you're releasing, what you're decreasing in your life. Then new moon and waxing moon, new moon and waxing moon. Waxing moon is when it's growing. New moon and waxing moon, focus more energy on kind of what you're attracting or what you're increasing in your life. Yeah, we good? All right. Well, you know you can shop at the link in bio, and you can also come and shop in person at 3353 Washington Road, East Point, Georgia. We are only open to the public currently Wednesdays 11 to 4 and Saturdays 11 to 6. But you can book you a personal shopping experience with me on my calendar. That link is in the bio. You can go to my calendar. The link in bio has the link to my calendar where it says more services. If you click that link, you will see that option on my calendar, shopping experience with Queen Yenn. You can book one of those, so then you can learn more about the different tools, how to use them, what's best for you. All right. If you have not joined, last thing I'll say is if you have not joined my newsletter, please do, because we got a dope newsletter that's going out every week. It has a lot of information. Yep. It has a lot of information. It has updates on events. It has my newsletter creator is bigging it up right now. You know, he's bigging his work up, which it is dope. I must say, he does a dope newsletter. And it's amazing at 16 that he's able to do a, what we got called like a metaphysical newsletter, a newsletter for Oyun Ministries. I mean, either way, it's pretty dope. I'm grateful of that. But if you haven't joined that newsletter, click the link in bio, join the newsletter as well. That way you can keep up with my offerings, events. We try to load it with information. You can learn some different things. You can know what services I offer, all that good stuff. And I hope this video was helpful. Was it? I don't know. I hope it was helpful. Feel free, anytime you catch a video on my page or anywhere, please do comment and let me know things you'd like to learn about, things that, you know, you'd like for me to speak on, whatever. I don't know. You know, I'm willing to at least consider. And also let me know if you have been impacted in any way, shape, or form by Oyun Ministries. I love testimonies. You know, that was one of the things I loved about Southern Baptist Church testimony service, because you're going to hear some amazing stories, right? You're going to hear some amazing testimonies. So I love testimonies. Tell me about it. All right. Much peace, many blessings, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.